How successful entrepreneurs think. See, before a few years, I used to think how I also can be a successful entrepreneur, and I was researching on this topic a lot. And I figured out the root thing, a pattern that is in successful entrepreneurs and that isn't found in unsuccessful entrepreneurs. So the pattern is, today I'm going to give you that pattern, and you can also use that in your life, and you can also lift up to be an entrepreneur who is successful. So the pattern is like this. Successful entrepreneurs think about problems. They always are in the sake of problems. So they believe that if they can find problem, they can solve the problem. So this is the thing that you also need to be a successful entrepreneur. Say, most of the people perceive entrepreneurs and businessmen as the same thing, but there are slightly some differences that makes entrepreneurs and businessmen a little bit different. So the thing is, entrepreneurs think long term. Maybe there is no money in the few years that the business has been started, but in the long term he can make $1,000,000 and $1 billion. But while it comes to businessmen, they are short-sighted. So they have short-term vision, and they only think about the profit that is being done within some years. So maybe, like, let's say, let me give you some example. Like, if you go to any retail shop and you can find there a businessman, he or she thinks about the short-term goals. But if you go to big companies like Google, Facebook, and meet the CEOs of those companies, then you can see long-term vision of them. So they think, what is the problem that is arising in the world in this era? So they are finding the problem and they are going to solve the problem. So that makes an entrepreneur successful. So you can also take this thing as a model or framework and utilize in your life also. So you can also take that vision. Like, let's say if you want to be a successful entrepreneur in maybe niche on technology, so you must figure out what are the problems that are arising in technology. That might be a big problem and that might be a small problem. It is better to be a small fish in a small pond rather than being a shark in the big sea. So find a problem that you can solve. So firstly, don't think of I can solve or not, because there are lots of people who can solve and you can collaborate with them. So firstly, think about the problem, and secondly, think about the solution, and thirdly, think about the people who can help you solve that problem, so that you can also be successful. So if you actually want to start thinking like how these successful entrepreneurs like Bill Gates and Mark Zuckerberg think, then you should make the vision of finding the problems, finding the core problems, and that makes an entrepreneur successful.